And we are live.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. I call to order the Design Review Board for Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. The first item on our agenda are the minutes of January 16th, 2024. Are there any corrections or questions?
I have a correction.
Oh, sure.
On the pages aren't numbered, unfortunately, but on the portion for the East Hampton Square Associates LLC, where the committee was appointed,
Yes.
it's myself and not Heather Barris, it's Catherine Davis.
Okay.
So that
I
needs,
already wrote it in.
Okay, so good. We took note of that. Okay, any other questions or corrections? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have that motion? Thank you, Ann. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kristen. All in favor?
Aye.
The next item on the agenda are the minutes of February 20th, 24. Are there any corrections or questions? If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve. Do I have that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. The next item on the agenda is White's Apothecary, 81 Main Street. Is the applicant present? If so, come to the podium, introduce yourself, and tell us what you'd like to do.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Jared Mandel, architect, 25 Hillside Avenue, Williston Park, New York, 11596. I am here today amending an application, I guess we'd call it, or requesting an amendment to an application that was previously approved by the board.
Right.
The amendment that we are requesting is associated with just the windows alone on the front facade. Everything else on the application would stay the same. The owner of the property has, I guess, went to the bid table with some contractors and with the proposal that we had proposed and felt was appropriate for the application that we agreed upon at the last hearing. But coming forth with the construction costs that were presented to him was way higher than what he anticipated, based off of that. All of the front would be wood, which he's completely okay with meeting somewhere in the middle where everything would be wood. But what he's asking for a potential exception on would be the windows themselves.
And what are the windows to be made of?
They're wood right now that was approved on the application.
Right, because it's in a historic district. Main Street is
100%.
historic, right.
I
So
understand.
now what is he proposing?
He's proposing, he's looking to stay with the same manufacturer, Marvin, obviously, who's known as a name brand, as one of the manufacturers that stick to the historic quality of windows. So he's not looking to change manufacturers at all. But Marvin is known to continuously provide the same profiles across the board. So it wouldn't be a profile change in what would be typically offered in their products. It would more be a durability aspect of it, but also a cost aspect, where the windows would be painted the same way that the clad windows will be painted the same way as wood would be painted, and it would be aesthetically the same from the outside. So I believe what the board was concerned about on the wood aspect of the facade is plugs and different aspects that would be the installation quality of how those materials would be installed, that there would be some imperfections. And I believe with the clad and the wood, from my professional opinion, we also have representative from Marvin here to further discuss the product that I brought here as well, that if it's about imperfections and that's what it is, and it's about maintaining historic quality, the historic quality will be maintained. The imperfections will not be there with the product. And at the same time, it's going to be more durable to last a longer time period. And it's going to be a smarter decision and economically favorable to the owner, to be able to have those the clad product over the wood product.
And the mullion profile is exactly the same as the original wood windows?
Exactly the same.
Is it true divided lights? Are they true divided?
How are you?
Hi, I'm Robert. You can introduce yourself.
Yes, Eric Clementi. I'm with NSC Windows.
Nice meeting you. Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
The profile is within, actually, Mike is here from Marvin. The profile for the windows between the clad and the wood is reasonably essentially identical. What Marvin has sought out to do over the many years in manufacturing is essentially tailor to historical and classical design.
Right.
As we all know, there's particularly nothing out there that is as beautiful as a wood window.
Right.
But we all understand and know, with that being said, that the maintenance costs and the durability is sometimes diminished.
Right.
And in so, Marvin has spent many years in research and development to essentially develop a window that's essentially identical to a wood window, but it allows it to withstand the test of time.
Right.
And what we've seen over many years of working with these windows is that they essentially fit the bill, right? They fit the bill for keeping a design, the beautification of what we want, because we know that no window is designed like that, while also maintaining the position of aesthetics that we look for. It even comes down to the coloring that is on the windows. They don't have a sheen or a gloss to them, right? So they essentially keep the same look, the same feel.
The same matte finish.
Yeah, the same matte finish. This is a sample of the color swatches, if you'd like to see. This window right here.
This sample, although it's black, will kind of show you how matte the finish is. The entire concept of this window is to mimic the look of wood.
Yeah.
So this one has an historical casing on it, but you'll see the bottom rail is going to be tall. You're going to have the sloped sill.
Yeah.
When the sunlight hits the cladding, whether it's black, white, or another color, you don't get that reflection. It kind of absorbs the light.
So I'm sorry. So it's we're talking double insulated glass. Is that what we're talking about? So it's not true divided light. So it's just
Well, simulated divided light.
simulated divided. Yeah, because it can't have. Yeah, well, it could.
It could, well.
It
on a
does.
flat
Does it?
window,
Yeah.
Yeah, typically you find that in a wood window,
Yeah.
which can be done, but even then, true divided light, meaning 6 individual panes of insulated glass in the sash, for any manufacturer, it can be problematic.
Yeah.
You have,
Yeah.
instead of one possibility of seal failure, you have 6.
Yeah. So it's 6/6. Is that the configuration?
For this particular project, they're clear.
Are they 6/6?
Sorry, yeah, they're 4/0.
4/0.
Will be
Okay.
authentic appearance from the outside. The only way you'd really be able
Yeah.
to see the profile was to
Yeah.
look closely at the glass and look and saw that. it was the-
Yes, I see them. Okay.
So what is it? It's made out of the extruded aluminum.
Well, it's a wood window, and the aluminum is just on the exterior to protect the wood.
But it's a composite. Am I correct? A composite window or no?
I believe elsewhere on the project, there is fiberglass.
Elsewhere in the project,
The side window.
we would be using composite,
Composite.
but the front would be aluminum,
So this is aluminum. Yeah.
Extruded aluminum.
extruded aluminum.
Okay.
So.
That's
not
what
both.
that's what you have here
Yes.
in the.
Okay. Okay.
As a matter of fact, do you have your phone for a second? Jack, I had that,
Case study.
yeah. This is,
So that's why.
this was a particular job that was done as a feature in a local area, local district that you guys may be familiar with in Sag Harbor.
Oh, okay.
You included that in the.
I'm sorry?
Isn't that included in the materials?
Yes.
The Sag Harbor project?
I'm sorry.
In the
Yes,
materials?
it's in the material, yeah. So one of the features of that study, let me just pull that up right here,
Yeah.
was the historical church. And in doing so, it was
okay.
very important
Yes, I
to
know
that
it.
district to keep that look.
Okay.
But again, it was important to be able to use something that again
Yeah.
was long lasting and we look to be able to keep that consistency and that idea and that mindset.
And you did use the extruded aluminum on that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you.
What's the
Any
cost
other-
differential? Is it a lot less expensive?
So the cost differential up front could be anywhere from 20 to 40%, but there's additional cost in maintenance. These windows are essentially created to be maintenance-free,
Right.
which allows the village to ensure that, generations thereafter can't allow something to deteriorate per se. So I guess we're unable to put a number on that, but we can tell you that it's going to be, they will be maintenance costs for a very long time.
And the aluminum, it doesn't after a while, when you have a metal material on, I don't care what it is, after a while it sort of blisters or it gets, from the moisture in the water over years and years. Does that happen to this material?
It really doesn't. These are Kynar. Now, you've probably heard the term Kynar. We use a 70% Kynar, which is AMA rates the window. It's a 2605 rating.
Yeah.
So the color retention is, the human eye after 20 years can barely perceive the difference if you were to take a swatch of the original and put it next to it.
Yeah.
So,
and as in a maintenance thing, does it have to be for the owner there, does it have to be repainted after like 5 years, or you paint it once and it's good for how long then?
well, it's warranted for 20 years,
Right,
but we've seen it that it lasts way longer than that.
you have.
But this is factory color, it's not painted. Again,
This is
once
done for
it's
the
on site, it's factory.
Oh, okay.
It's a factory.
And the aluminum is a plain grade aluminum. So, I'm sure we've all flown many times as we go onto the plane. You could see the plane that's been flying through the air thousands and thousands of miles.
Right.
We all know that those planes aren't repainted over and over.
Yeah.
And those planes always look clean. Essentially, this is the same type of finish and the same type of material.
Is this the color that you set?
And that's the stone white, yes.
This is the color you're planning to use?
On the windows or on the siding?
All the way.
That's the window color,
The windows.
and the siding is
It's white as well.
white.
But that color of white.
This is the windows on the second floor, but this is the entire storefront as well, right?
Mhm.
It's the whole storefront.
So is this white or do I see gray in this? Is this
It's an
white?
off-white.
This is,
It's stone white. There used to be two whites. One was Arctic white, but it's almost gave a bluish.
oh, we don't want that, yeah.
Which typically we found people didn't want for historic.
Yeah,
So that color is what matches typical painted white window.
so now when the building is completely finished now, when we walk and we look at the front of the building, would it all read as white?
Yes.
And the buildings next to it, will it look white like they're white, or is it going to be an off-white?
Well, this is attached to.
That white is the same exact white that is on the wood window.
Okay,
So the whites don't change.
so the side of your building and the front of the building is all going to match? All the color's going to
Stone white
be
is the same.
stone,
The fiberglass windows, we use the same.
stone white?
Yes.
But the
Okay.
windows aren't painted.
But
They're
we
made out
did,
of
yes,
aluminum.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the front.
The finish is applied during the.
Yeah, and then now the wood trim that you're going to be doing in the front, that white, is that going to match the windows? It's all going to match, am I correct?
Yes. Well, are you doing, there's options there. You could be doing your own wood trim. You see, this is a more elaborate trim.
Yeah.
So they're not painted. So they'll be painted.
Yeah.
It'll be painted, okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you. Billy, your input on this application?
Good morning, board members. Billy Hajak for the village. So I don't think I have to explain the importance. This is a 1906 building. It was originally constructed to house a hardware store and a furniture shop, and then about 10 years later, it became White's, and it's been White's ever since, which is fantastic. There was a really bad renovation completed in the 50s, I think the early 50s, which is why we have some vinyl mixed with clad, mixed with, a hodgepodge of stuff that happened there. I think during the 50s renovation, they removed the detail on the second story, which they're proposing to replace, put back, which I think is a benefit. And overall, I appreciate, the effort that's gone into this, restoration. The village design guidelines for commercial districts encourage maintaining or keeping the storefronts intact that currently exist. And as this storefront area, the windows, the door that leads to the second story, the stained glass, the design elements are all, as best I can tell, they're all original and intact. And it would be good to try to maintain them. And if you can't maintain them, then, replacing with in-kind products as much as possible is the preferred alternative.
Right.
The second, the windows on the up above on the sides, I think that's less important because I don't think people are going to really see it. From far away, you're not going to be looking up close to the second story. So,
Okay.
I don't think that's an issue. And the sides and the back, if they want to use, different, materials, that's fine. But I think it's the storefront is what I suggest the board emphasize and try to retain as much as possible.
So the storefront, this board wants it all to be done in wood. Thank you, Billy. It's all going to be done in wood. It's all going to be copied from the original. So when you do your molding and your millwork, all the millwork is going to be identical to what you're replacing in kind what you're doing. Am I right?
Well, no, actually, the divides are changing. So right now, the divides are, on the storefront, I think there's like 6 divides. And it's going back to, it's going to like basically 3 panels. Well, I'm not saying up top, the storefront.
The light, oh, yeah.
The lights. Right now, it's 6 divided lights on the left side.
I just have a question about that.
Okay.
So was that done in 1960 or that's original?
I believe those are original, the windows. The divided light windows, I think, are original.
So it'll be the return to its original.
No, the plan is not. The plan is
Plan
to,
is to do,
Oh,
putting
that's
back-
right. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
so,
Okay.
I mean, if you kept proportionately the thickness of the divides, I think it sort of maintains that character.
Yes.
Maybe it's not 6,
Yeah.
6 divided lights, but I think it's, it's the heaviness of the window that's
I think it actually looks
that's
better.
emphasized.
So then the divides then will be the same thicknesses, am I correct on
the vertical,
the vertical?
No.
Your vertical.
your
your-
vertical.
I don't know if you know the thickness of the bars that are there, are they 5/8, 7/8? I didn't measure them. I don't know. Because we have all the different sizes, typical 5/8, 7/8, inch and an eighth. So we can mimic now. If we go from 6, 6.
Could we possibly talk into the microphone, just for the broadcast? Thanks.
Oh, okay. So I think you're talking about the second floor. We're talking about the
No, the first.
first floor.
First floor, okay, you're talking about the storefront?
Yes. So the storefront then is going to be wood.
I know.
Am I
They're
right?
proposing, I know.
I know.
Fine.
Storefront is PVC, right, on the storefront itself.
Correct, would be the PVC material to identically match the wood material. Again, something that's a synthetic material, something that would be a synthetic material that we would be able to replicate what's existing there, that would be impervious to the elements. It's an inorganic that has been developed to, battle the rot, warp, cracking, splintering, molding, things of that nature, right? So
But the real reason is the cost.
no, absolutely not. The real reason is, again, maintenance. From wood that you see that's created today to wood that was created in the 1950s, are 2 very conceptually different woods. The woods that are created today have extremely large differences in the aesthetics, in the strength, and in the durability. It's no longer created with tight knots, and you have that strength and you have that natural resistance to bugs and things of that nature. So we're looking to put a material, again, for the benefit that we both see as the owners as well as the village, something that's going to be long-lasting, withstanding that we can match identically to what's there in wood.
Yeah, because the reason for that is the way the wood is produced today, it's not old wood, and the trees and everything, it's completely different. So then you would have to use something like mahogany or something like this that is more, I mean, that is fairly maintenance-free, but you'd have to use mahogany and not
It would be
not
cost
pine, because pine is a waste of time.
Pine is so soft that if
Even
the
poplar.
snow plows came through and a rock hit it, it would chip it, and it would just become something that would rot and warp over time.
I know this from my own thing. Yeah, and poplar isn't any good either. You have to use mahogany or teak.
Yeah, even Doug fir.
Yeah, it's not,
This is not-
soft pine doesn't. Okay.
But it doesn't have the richness. So if we could use a PVC type of material that we could mimic exactly what's there, we're essentially being able to put something that'll last forever, that'll be maintenance free, and that maintains the look and aesthetic that we're looking for.
Okay.
And you're copying the profiles?
I'm sorry?
You're copying the profiles that are there?
Yes, the idea would be to copy the
Thickness
profile.
and the profiles.
They're getting rid of one.
Yeah, different.
Yes, I actually think it'll look better without that one. Yeah. Billy, any input on the vinyl for the verticals? What is your opinion? No, okay. All right.
Aren't the guidelines for historic buildings that they have to be put in the same kind of material to be restored and not,
Yeah,
I mean,
Yes.
sure, everything
Yeah.
evolves, but wood is
Yes.
wood. And
It's just
Go ahead.
concerning. The next house, the next house, the
I
next
know.
house.
The guidelines are great. We actually agree with the guidelines. We just disagree with the material that's used. So we want to be able to use material that is long-lasting and that is essentially maintenance-free, that we can keep the aesthetic. If we decide to go with the pine material or a soft wood, we can ensure that we're not going to be able to maintain the look and feel that we need. So we're actually, with PVC, we're probably going to go in a direction where it's going to actually keep its beautification longer than what we were expecting.
well, board members, it's your decision. What would you like to do here? Now, I think, since it's a historic district, I think one of the most important things is that all the front of the building is all wood. Am I correct? It's all wood?
Facade is, yes.
Okay. Tom, what is your opinion?
So all the fascia board is wood?
About the windows, what do you, I mean,
Other than the windows.
I don't really have a stance on it.
nobody come,
Legal?
yeah.
I don't know if I feel comfortable approving changing all the wood to vinyl.
to, PVC.
Okay, thank you. And,
I'm in the upstairs, on the upstairs,
yes,
fine, but downstairs, I think it should stay.
I think so too, yes. And what is Ann, what is your opinion about the total?
I think you're going to have a maintenance issue that's worse for the village than.
Yeah, okay, and I'm sorry, Kristen, because we are setting a precedent. so
I know.
it's gonna be really-
I mean, if we approve this, then everybody's going to
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to change to PVC.
Yeah,
It's setting a precedent
yeah,
that
I think my own opinion is that once we start doing this and we have windows on the top different, we're gonna have things on the bottom different, and then the buildings next door, and in all the historic districts, it's gonna create a problem. So I think what we'll have to do is we're gonna have to say that you'll have to stay with, if it's okay with the board, the wood materials.
Inside and outside.
Yeah, because it's,
Well, it's just on the first floor.
On the storefront.
on the store.
it's a storefront. Yeah. No, just the storefront.
I think when you buy a historic building, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I think that Kate has a very good point. You're getting, this is, what are we really talking about maintenance? I mean, it's not that horrible. I mean, they're basically new windows, right?
Yeah.
They're new windows, so it's not like they're 100 years old, So,
And the wood has a preservative that keeps it
yeah.
from.
I would have to say for the owner, and if I was the owner, for a 20% increase, we're not talking an 80% increase, but for a 20% increase, I don't really think it's outrageous to expect to pay for that,
I don't.
cost-wise.
More than that, though, it's triple.
Well, okay, yeah, okay. But it is one portion of the
We're
building, so
allowing
we're allowing
the
the sides and,
upstairs. and-
yeah. Okay, so I think let's go ahead and stay with the wood as described, wood everywhere.
And what
Okay.
about the
Storefront on the
design?
first
Do we want
floor.
the design to stay the same?
I thought we had said that the
Yeah.
design was staying.
Yeah,
But
this
this The
design,
drawing is not staying
Yeah.
the same.
yeah,
That's
They
submitted.
should keep it.
I think at the last time this was approved, the board, or reviewed and approved, the board approved the changing.
We did.
The change design of the storefront windows, but I think that was probably due to the fact that it was all going to be a wood product.
that's right. So we're going to stay with the wood product.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, and we're going to stay with the design. Okay. All right. Any other questions? So this is what we're going to do, okay?
Stay with what design? Which design are you going to stay with? The original?
Original, yeah, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Not what's not here.
So this one, this or this?
so my understanding is that they're proposing the 3 panels.
Yes.
With the divides on top,
Yes.
and the board is asking for that to be wood.
Yes.
If you want it to stay exactly the way it currently is right now, then that's a different,
But we already approved it.
yes, you already
Yeah.
approved it this way, correct?
We're going to stay
The
with,
request was just to change it from wood
yeah.
to the aluminum.
We're going to stay what we approved, and we're going to insist that everything be out of wood.
Right,
Okay.
for the storefront.
With the storefront. So do I have a motion to approve this as we're going to do this? Or you going to come back now again?
There's not much more
Was we-
to present at this point.
Billy?
other than-
Yeah.
We just, I would suggest that the board, if the board's going to approve it, it be approve it conditioned on submission of plans that reflect
Okay,
this conversation,
okay,
which is how it was approved last time, that they were going
Okay.
to come back with plans showing all
Okay.
details on the wood products.
okay. So why don't you do that and come back with everything, and then we'll go over it.
Change that there would be is the upper
Upper
windows being
windows, yeah. Yep,
the
yep.
clad product.
But I feel comfortable reviewing those for the board. You don't
I
have
thought we were saying that the entire front of this store has to be
Yeah.
in wood because we don't want to set a precedent for the village.
It already, yeah, so the detail around the doors, they're going to,
About the storefront on this, this would not.
Yeah.
And we feel comfortable splitting buildings up like that. I understand on the sides, we said PVC was fine,
Yes.
but for the whole front, we don't want the rest of the village saying that they can change all their historic buildings and do half wood, half vinyl.
No.
Don't we want to keep the
Yeah.
whole facade?
I think we want to keep the upstairs windows in the wood, but the whole thing, okay? Because we're not, once we start piecemealing things together, it's a very bad idea.
the board's fault.
I agree.
Okay. Okay, so you'll come back with the proper plans, I mean,
That would just be
you're
keeping the
going to come back.
It is right now.
Okay,
Like we're already approved for what we're
That's what I
talking
thought.
about right now.
okay,
So what we're requesting is a little bit of relief, at least for the second floor, because the eye may be a little bit further away as the board discussed. And that the paint would be the same, or the appearance of this window, I think we kind of got past, I thought we did, the part of that, the upper portion would look the same whether it was in wood or another material, it's still the same finish, nothing's gonna change. So at that point, if you're on the second, if you're looking up at the second floor,
It's
nothing's
not,
gonna
it's
change.
not the same material because wood would be painted and the clad windows
yeah,
are
it's not.
factory made.
She's totally correct.
But the
Yeah.
color would be the same exact color.
Yes, but it's not, it's aluminum,
It
right?
doesn't look the same as paint.
It
If
won't
you
look
put
the
a
same.
painted window next to a factory made
Yeah.
clad aluminum window,
They
I mean, when it,
look different.
if we were able to exhibit to the board a wood and an aluminum side-by-side comparison, unbeknownst to which material, are we certain that we would be able to choose which one was?
No,
versus
I feel that this is a historic district and we have to maintain the status quo that it's going to be wood. Okay? All right.
So what would be the approach then at this point? Can we essentially adjourn at this point? And then, because we're going with the old application, or we could adjourn right now and have time to present further clarity? I know that we may not stand a chance or stand a chance.
No, okay, look, we've already discussed it. It's all going to be wood. The board members, this is what we all want to do. We can't have a juxtaposition of aluminum and vinyl, and let's just stay with wood. It's only the front, with giving you relief with the sides, and we can't have people in all the historic districts do a juxtaposition of, well, that window over there on the right, on the top, because people won't see it, is okay. And then that one over there, nobody will see, so that's okay. And once we have that, we're gonna have chaos.
I agree.
That's a really bad step to go into. So we have to maintain our standards for the village, and we can't do piecemeal, because this one is less maintenance by 20%, and this costs more by 40%. Once we get into this, we're in a dangerous territory. So we're going to maintain that this is a historic district. The upper windows are going to be wood. The bottom is all going to be wood. It's going to maintain this look, okay? And so I guess you'll have to come back on this?
No.
Or we've approved it?
Right.
We've approved it, and just make sure that when you start this, that it is correct, because otherwise it will be, you'll have to redo it.
100%.
Okay, so we can't throw in some aluminum windows or some vinyl windows. What we approve, we expect it to be as such, and we don't want to contact you and tell you you're doing the wrong thing and put a stop work order.
Completely understand.
Okay, you understand that totally?
You understand.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay.
All right, and board members, thank you. Billy, thank you. Tom, thank you.
Appreciate
Okay,
it for you hearing the case again.
thank you. Have a nice day. Enjoy.
Here, just here.
Oh, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is 55 Newtown Lane, the Condo Owners Association, 110 Park Place. Is the applicant present?
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
Fellow board
Welcome.
members.
Yeah. Thank you.
My name is Steve Garland. I am the owner of Premier Home Builders LLC, based out of East Patchogue. I'm here today to represent my clients for what we think is a relatively simple change at 110 Park Place. What we are proposing here is to change out the existing metal burgundy roof, which is clearly aged, and I mean, I'm sure you guys drive by it every day. It's not very sightly. And what we would like to do is basically change that out to a new black aluminum standing seam roof, which would basically be the same as what you see here now. We are requesting to change the color to black. And then besides that, we are looking for approval to basically clean up the exterior and repaint it with a fresh coat of white paint.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Billy, your input on this? Okay, board members?
You're also, where Fiero's Pizza and things are, changing that to black as well on the building that goes down to the fleet.
Right, so if you look closely, there is a small cornice detail there, which are these small white blocks. And above that is actually, it's already painted to match the burgundy roof. So we just wanted to represent that we were going to change that burgundy to black above that cornice section as well, just as you see on the original.
Are you changing the material, or are you just repainting it?
The existing structure, which is basically, it's like some kind of concrete block, that's all going to stay. The only material change is
the metal.
Is the metal.
Yeah, and the metal, it's basically aesthetically, or is it leaking, or?
This is basically aesthetic only.
Aesthetic.
Yeah,
So you're replacing the metal.
we want
With
to
black
replace
metal.
the metal with black metal, correct?
The only thing that I notice about it is that the existing metal, if you take a look, board members, at the building to the right, it's a brick, it's a red brick, and the sort of the metal sort of, you know,
Together.
it all ties together in a way. Do you notice that? Whereas the black is got a sort of like, it terminates and it, I don't know. It's really an aesthetic question, board members. It's like the black on Newtown Lane, or the metal sort of could go, but I just, it's sort of like a connecting piece. I
Is
don't,
it black or bronze?
The proposed roof or the existing?
Black.
black.
The
Proposed.
proposed.
Black.
Do you have a sample of the
I did not
metal?
bring a sample. I could always bring one to you if you wanted to see
It would
that.
be helpful to see a sample of the material. There's blacks are so different.
That's true.
Okay, so why don't you do that and just we'll reschedule and you could bring a sample of the material, okay?
Sure,
All
absolutely.
right.
Great.
Any other questions? Kate, anybody?
That's great.
Sue? Okay, Ann, any questions? Okay, thank you then. So you'll
Guys, really
come
appreciate your
back
time.
with a sample, okay. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Board members, any other questions? If not, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn for today. Do I have that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.